leading our kids to Jesus and keeping it relational is so critical. And to know his voice is so important so that it's actually a relationship and a conversation, not because he wants to instruct them and bark lessons at them and make them fix things up, but because he loves us and he wants to be with us and he wants to have conversations with us. This series, we're concentrating on the 5 senses. And the fact that God has already given us these senses is a great indicator that he has fully equipped us with the ability to receive messages, whether it's by hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, all of those things. This one in particular, we're looking at the eyes. And of course, whenever we do this, we want to make it experiential, but also make it scriptural. So the kids are getting biblical references and also getting biblical language for this. So the person I would start with is Moses. You might choose another character, but Moses to me is a great example, a guy going about the everyday. Remember, he was going about the fields, looking after the flock. This is after he escaped from Egypt, and he saw a burning bush. Now, that burning bush may be normal or supernatural, but it was the wonder and the curiosity that I find that he then went up and he drew close to God. And because of the burning bush, and he responded to that initial prompt, he had this amazing encounter and conversation, and we are still reading about it years onwards. So sometimes it's teaching our kids and ourselves, let's face it, to stop in the everyday and go, what catches your attention? Now, I know sometimes even a feather catches my attention, and I've stuck a feather in the sunshield in my car that has caught my attention about a conversation I had with the Lord. The second way you can do it is also setting up an experience for kids so that it's an intentional time. Now, this is just as powerful as any other time. When you think about it, in the scriptures, there are lots of times when we were instructed to intentionally go and search out, to go and look. Elijah told his servant to go and look for the cloud. Jesus said to his disciples, go and look and find the donkey, remember? He also said, go and find the fish with the coin in it. So there are times when we are intentional about going and searching out and looking. And I think we can do that in a very simple way as well with kids, of course making it fun, but I would grab anything that your kids may or may not be interested in. It doesn't really matter. You can upscale this to all sorts of things depending on the ages and stages of your kids. But make a selection of things on a table and let them go and stop for a moment and go, what do you think the Holy Spirit is highlighting to you? What is you being drawn to? And choose an object or two and just ask then God a conversation. So what are you wanting to grab my attention to, Lord? How does this remind me about Jesus? How does this remind me about your love? And of course, we know all of those things are good news for kids. When there's negative stuff or bad stuff, ditch it, but it's always good news. So that's 2 ideas. One is teach them through the everyday to be curious, to pause and wonder about what is happening through the eyes that might lead to a meeting with Jesus. Or secondly, be intentional and search it out. And again, if you have preschoolers, let me just say an example. If your child chooses a banana, whether it's a toy one or not, you can ask them what they like about that and then go, yes, that's what God is like. He's happy. Oh yes, he makes us feel full and satisfied. Or he's sweet. God's always good. So it's sometimes doing that with children as well and helping develop their language about what God is doing through their sight as well. Have fun exploring with that.